Hi, Delman. How are you?
Hi, Eva. I'm fine, thank you.
We have smiles on our faces right now, but definitely it's been a difficult year, right? The COVID-19 crisis has affected all of our lives. Can you just tell me a little bit about how it has affected yours and obviously also the business of Tall Apparel?
So COVID caught, I think, many people by surprise, including ourselves. Of course, personally, I get to see my kids a lot more than before, where I used to travel. Now I have meetings at home and they have the class at home. So we both do our Zoom meetings and we can all talk about it. I get that's the positive side of COVID. But of course, it hits the business pretty bad. Our business is down. The whole industry, I guess, is down 20 to 40%, depending on which segment you are in. So we have to make a lot of quick changes.
Do you think there's been any important learnings? I mean, has there been any best practices that you've sort of taken with you from this crisis?
At the beginning, a lot of brands and retailers asked for delivery to be on time. So, you have COVID. You have COVID in at that time it's not called COVID. You have something like a SARS in Asia, but please make sure you update us when could our delivery be. But very soon after that, they said, actually, I don't need the delivery because COVID is hitting the rest of the world. So we saw sort of a pendulum swing in attitude towards the supply chain. So for me, the learning is sort of back to good old practice of no overproduction or having lean production principles and practice in place is quite important.
So what do you think is actually needed in this relationship between the buyers and the manufacturers to accelerate sustainability?
I guess talk more about it, but more importantly is action. Action speaks louder than words. And in many years that we've been working on sustainability through a few multi-stakeholder initiatives, we find that a lot of leaders want to lead the industry, but many times we find that they do it by themselves, and it sort of goes back to a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I think we need to see a bit more of the latter.
How do you think we can create a continuous, prosperous business model, but do it within the planetary boundaries? I mean, basically decoupling growth in volume from value creation for businesses. Do you see that happening?
It's once again a very good question. So at the end, there are currently people maybe overproduce, aiming for a low price on the garment, but in effect, there are a lot of inefficiency in the supply chain. So from our business, from our own inventory management, we know that roughly speaking, 30% of the goods produced are at the end of the season for markdown. You sell less garment, less, not growth, but it's profitable because you eliminate waste in the system. So currently there's a lot of waste in the system that someone in the supply chain is eating that up, is taking that profit hit. But imagine a world where there's less overproduction, where garments last longer. You maybe do quantity-wise maybe less business, but profit-wise is actually profitable. And the second point is that currently, as you know, a lot of P&L is based on tangible numbers, but there's a lot of externalities that are currently has not been priced into the products. So I keep telling anyone actually, if you want to win in this game, you need to start early to know that there is actually scarcity of resources coming anytime soon. So you should cater for it. Currently, it's not priced into your product, but one day it would be.
Thank you so much for taking the time. And we'll see you online very soon.